Well, Stacy and I met the summer of 2011. We were set up on a blind date, essentially, from a mutual friend, Tricia. And we met at a steakhouse, right? Mm-hmm. And Stacy was 45 minutes late, but...
But I was at work. I was at work, at a work event. And I called and said I was going to be late.
So, she's forgiven. And we just had one of the best dates. It was just great. We just clicked. And the 60 days afterwards, we were inseparable. We saw each other every day. And I knew there was something there and fell in love with her very quickly. And we've been best friends, and that's how we met.
The person that introduced us, her name is Tricia, and she's a college friend of mine. And how I met Tricia was we were actually Miller girls in college. College Miller reps is what they called us. And so, so I've known her since college, and she had subsequently met John a year or so before we met. Mm-hmm. And they were friends, and she said, hey, I've got this great guy that I want you to meet. And so she introduced us, which was awesome.
Well, there's a part of that Stacy left out. She said, yeah, I got this really great guy I want you to meet. And Stacy's first words out of her mouth were, what's wrong with him? So it's quite a bit, but, it still worked out. And
now I know nothing from him.
Right. And, we've been inseparable and happy ever since, basically.
Yeah. It was amazing because when we first met, the first 60 days that we had met, I mean, we lived in different states, so it wasn't just, across town kind of visiting. We literally crossed state borders for 60 days straight to see each other. So it was great. So how we got engaged was we had been dating for a number of years, and we knew that we were going to be getting engaged at some point, but just didn't know exactly when. And we decided we wanted to go to the casino and do a little gambling. And when we do that, we'll go sometimes and have something to eat beforehand. And at this particular casino, they have a steakhouse. There seems to be something, a steakhouse. Yeah. And we went to go have a pre-dinner drink. And I know John will have a drink or two before we go to dinner, but this time he had 4 drinks before we went to dinner. Yeah. And I was like, wow, he's really thirsty. So we go, and I didn't really think anything of it. And we went in to have dinner at the steakhouse, and all of a sudden, we ordered our salads and we ordered a bottle of wine and, normal preamble to dinner. And all of a sudden he starts saying all of these just amazingly wonderful things about our relationship and about how much he loves me and how much I've meant to him. And then he pulled out the ring and asked me to marry him. And of course I said yes. And it was so funny as the waitress was coming up to the table, saw that this was going on, and turned right back around and walked away. It was
she's
funny.
Like, I have your Cobb salads. Here you go. Oh, I'm so sorry. She scampered off. They got us a bottle of champagne and we celebrated, and it was awesome. It was a great night.
And then we went to the casino and won money, so it was all win-win all around.
So
it was great.
Great night, and been a great marriage since.
Yeah. So how we found you guys is we were doing research online, and I don't remember the exact websites, but I looked at a couple of different ones, and liked what I saw on the website and the reviews, and certainly I watched actually some of these videos, and really liked that, and just really got a wonderful feel for Reverend Roy and Amy, and just, that came through in the website. And so I immediately contacted for availability, and I think I might have called as well, to find out and talk a little bit more about the process, and just really got an awesome feeling about working with you guys. And it was one of the best decisions we made with our wedding. So we couldn't be happier.
Mm-hmm. And weren't you baptized? Was that?
Yes. So in addition, one of the things that I wanted to do before I got married was I wanted to get baptized. And so I called and asked if that was a service that you could do as well. And it was. Mm-hmm. And so they came to our home and did the baptism at our home, which was so amazingly special. Also, to be able to share that with you guys before the wedding. And it meant so much to me. Mm-hmm. It was great to have that as a background also going into the wedding. So it's really just made everything so much more special and amazing.
And what I really liked about you guys was I grew up in a very religious home, raised Lutheran, went to a Christian school, Christian high school. And what I like is that when I met you, it wasn't like preachy. It wasn't, you guys were just normal, great people. And it was, I liked you because of that. I didn't know what to anticipate with that. And you're normal people, and you have faith, and you kind of, what's the word? Accommodate. You can pick and choose how you want your service. It can be very religious, or it can be more secular, or whatever, and
or anywhere in between.
Anywhere in between, yeah. And I consider myself religious, but yet I'm a normal guy and in the trades, and I liked that it was religious, but yet you guys are just normal people, and yeah. I like that.
Yeah. And that was something as well. Like, it was just, working with you guys was so great. You were accommodating, made some adjustments to some of the wordings in the ceremony that we had requested. Mm-hmm. And just super down to earth, fun, mm-hmm. and fun, really mm-hmm. fun people to work with as well. So it was a great experience.
Mm-hmm. The way the ceremony went was you and I and my best man were standing up at the altar area. And honestly, I felt I had my best man, John, and honestly, I felt like you had my back. Like, you were the religious, I felt comfortable with you up there. And it was a very nerve-wracking experience. It's just kind of scary, but yet, for me, the initial startup was calming, and it felt good. And the way the service went was, it was smooth, and it wasn't.
It wasn't stuffy.
Yeah, it wasn't pious, or it was God was there, but yet it was normal people, and a wonderful experience.
Yeah, and the thing that I also liked about the ceremony was, we had worked together because we also wanted to honor Tricia, the person that had introduced us, and Reverend Roy had an awesome suggestion that we honor her by giving her a bottle of Miller during the ceremony, and really bringing her up and honoring her and acknowledging mm-hmm. her for her role in our relationship. And it was an awesome idea, and it was just so fun and lighthearted, and it made, I mean, the ceremony was amazing, just as John said, but that even made it more fun and special and lighthearted. And it was a great recommendation that you made that, you know, we wouldn't have thought of probably otherwise. So, you know, when I talked about the working with you, and you know, it was adding that element of fun and uniqueness to our ceremony that was unique for us and fun.
And which, by the way, Tricia still to this day brings up how fun and what a special moment that was by presenting her, because Stacy and Tricia, who set us up, were Miller Lite girls in college, and hence the Miller Lite bottle that was presented to her as a fun thank you. And she still to this day raves about what a great moment that was.
Yeah.
So real fun, and yet the seriousness of it and the meaning of marriage was not lost. Definitely not lost in the lightheartedness either. It was very well handled and couldn't have been happier.
The feedback that I've heard about the ceremony itself was it was beautiful. You know, the weather was a little touch and go because we had an outside ceremony. It was a little bit of a chill in the air, but aside from even with that, people just were, I don't know, very present. The feedback that I got was people very present, and they could feel the love and the levity certainly of the ceremony, and the lightheartedness as well, the elements that we brought in, and they thought it was very well done, and tears, of course, and things like that. So it was the feedback was great, and it was fun. That's one thing that we heard a lot about the ceremony and the wedding in general, and the reception was that there's just a lot of fun. We liked that. That was one of the things we were going for. We highly recommend working with you. Like I said, the experience from looking at the website and talking it over with John and the options that were available, it was just such an amazing experience to work with you, and it was easy, and accommodating for some of the things that we wanted to add, and you made a lot of suggestions on things that we could do. Absolutely highly recommend working with you. And if we, ever do any kind of ceremony again, we would we would definitely use you as well. But even, like I said, for the wedding, but then also the baptism was incredible. So I highly recommend. I mean, hands down.